I've been here many times in spirit. This is my first time I'm speaking at Unity of Naperville. Well, thank you so much. I've been here attending Unity of Naperville. So check my timing. And this is my first time doing the full YouTube. And usually when I do a talk, I just come in and I do my talk and the meditation. So if I stumble over somewhere where I'm supposed to be at a certain time in the room, they'll help me. This is wonderful. So again, I'm welcoming everyone here today at Unity of Naperville. Everyone online, thank you for joining us. And thank you for joining us, maybe not today, but another day, and listening to the replay. And it's so wonderful to see new faces here, friends that have been with me many years, and family. Thank you very, very, very much to be here. I'm going to begin by reading a little bit about history of prayer. I think today the title of my talk is Enhancing Life's Flow with Affirmative Prayer. So our main theme is affirmative prayer. I know I'm speaking to the choir. I know you are Unity students, and you practice it and live it. But hopefully there's a little bit of maybe something different, and something different comes into your mind and your heart, into your life, that I bring to you today. The history of prayer dates back in the ancient civilization and continues today as a central element of most major religions, with practices ranging from spontaneous personal communication to highly ritualized communal worship. Personal versus ritualized. Prayer can be spontaneous, heartfelt communication between an individual and the divine, or a highly structured communication between an individual and the divine with highly structured acts, actions, and texts. We read about prayer and we hear about prayer and we feel prayer and lighten our hearts. So what is our real goal in prayer? Usually includes what? Connect with our divine, connect ourselves with the divine, know and trust that there is one power and one light, the God in us and around us. Expressing devotion, where we know that we have a quality in our life that we are praying for, with a consciousness, an action, a movement, a belief that we want to excel and know that that situation, circumstance, that nature of truth is in us already. So we always are giving praise and thanksgiving when we're making our requests. One story that brings to mind always in my life, especially when I'm talking about prayer, is the story and the life of my little sister. My little sister was about 1.5 years younger than me, and she was born with arthrogryposis. Arthrogryposis is a congenital happening at birth. Your joints and muscles are stiff and either in the direction of closed or open. She had a combination of both, from her shoulders to her tippy toes. So when she was born, she was taken, we lived in Wisconsin, so she was taken to Madison, Wisconsin, and had her first surgery with her hips were dislocated. But she came back whole and complete with a baby smile on her face. She was a blessing in our life, and we didn't even know it at that time. Well, we knew it, but it just grew with life. We were blessed by a Shriner from Shriners Hospital here in Chicago. Well, we're in Naperville, but I live in Chicago, but I'm from Wisconsin. And actually, my main church that I went to was in Oak Park, and the Shriners Hospital is right there. So a little destiny thing, unbelievable. Well, we were blessed by a Shriner, and the biggest memory for me is my parents needed to drive and take Marie to Shriners Hospital. It was a 3-hour drive, and back then that was pretty far, and 2-lane highways and things like that. But the big thing that I remember with Marie and her in my life, and my sisters, I have 4 sisters, was the ambience around Marie and my parents. My parents came from unconditional love all Marie's life, all her life. In fact, they told us maybe she'll live till 4. She walked at 4. They said, well, maybe a teenager. She lived to her 60s. Lived to her 60s. So this getting ready, of getting Marie ready to get in the car and to go for her treatments, her surgeries, they didn't make it a big thing. Oh my God, this is trauma, this is terrible. Oh, poor Marie, she's going to be in the hospital, she's going to go through that. No, my parents always came from faith and love. And they gave us that peace. They didn't come from fear and worry, not on the outside anyway. So my experience was that unconditional love, the affirmative prayer. So when I began with Unity, it was like an aha, this is what we lived. We had a Catholic upbringing. We had a spiritual Catholic upbringing. My parents were very faith-filled, and they instilled this in all of us. So Unity was like another extra blessing in my life. Before I go into talking about affirmative prayer a little bit, I'll just tell you a little bit about myself now. You heard about my little sister and her blessing. I'm a hairstylist of 5 decades. That means working 50 years. And my clients and my life and my business has been my ministry. Even though I started with Unity in '76 in the city of Chicago, Unity, came out there, in Oak Park in '83 was my next ministry. I joined, I volunteered. Again, it was an awakening, an enlightenment moment. A couple of my friends are here from there today. I became a licensed teacher. I shared many things. I helped putting retreats together, and I made it my mission. And why I say my clients have been my life and my mission is because a lot of my clients have been with me in Chicago since the 40 years. And I feel the ministry that I do for them is helping them look good, feel better, look good on the outside, feel better inside, to know that their image carries them in their godlike presence. They tell me that. When people referred other clients to me, they would tell me, doctor didn't just tell me that you're a hairstylist and that you're good, and that she liked you, and she's been with you a long time. She told me that you have something special. You're not just doing hair for her. So that's me, and that's who I am, and that's my experience. I love life, as you can tell. So again, I know I'm talking to the choir, but in working with affirmative prayer, it began in the 1880s with the Fillmores. The co-founders of Fillmores were Charles and Myrtle Fillmore. Let me take a little sip. Thank you. I'm grateful for this warm water. They experienced personal healing and transformation through their faith, and they focused on positive thoughts about God. Myrtle Fillmore believed that she did not have to inherit the sickness of her family, and she led her life towards recovery from illness by these beliefs. They started a prayer ministry in 1890. We weren't born then, but maybe we lived that in our past life. And this is how the method of prayer, with affirmations and the ever-present God good in us. So a quote with Unity Village is, in Unity we believe that all good things work together for the highest good. And we know that we have our international 24/7 Unity support all the time. How many people here have connected with Unity, Silent Unity, called in, and now you can go online? Thank you, many of you, many of you. Well, as I mentioned that I joined Unity Center in 1976, at the first time I attended, it was a very deep connection. It connected me to that journey that I had in my life, that I kind of questioned. Not that I didn't love it, but people would always tell me about their challenging effects with Unity, or not with Unity, but with their life and their faith. It's like I said to my older sister, because I had 3 older sisters, and I would say, how come they talk about this and that and they're negative about it? Well, they have that other religion, And I know we came from other religions, but we are whole and complete in our oneness and our beingness here at Unity. So today, not only going to talk about affirmative prayer as we know it, and how do we know it? We know it by knowing that there is the spiritual connectedness of God, that we connect, we bring and we know that God is with us all the time. And then we ourselves align ourselves with God. I call those first two levels of God, of prayer, our connection. It's our really connection. Simple words. When I studied to be a licensed teacher, I got a little confused because they were using words like, renunciation and exploration and certain words. I was like, Sarah, tell me about it. You're a prayer chaplain. Tell me what these really mean. I know it simply, and I knew it in my heart. So if we could have the first slide on the affirmation prayer and the bingo. Today we're going to have a little more fun. Everyone up for fun? Yeah. Okay. Well, someone very special gave me this little note about bingo and a little different way of looking about the words bingo. We're going to do something special, but not quite yet. So when we see the words up on the front, I'm just stand on the side, like I just said, we're going to recognize the presence, know that the one God is with it we are, affirm our truth, our situation, our circumstances, our goal in our life, our want, our needs, but we know it's complete. Feel appreciation and release. Well, bingo, if you take a look at bingo, they're literally words, B-I-N-G-O. As we read together, begin with God, include yourself, name the truth, give thanks, over and out. So we let go and release. So today, Kevin and Jen have come up with a little ditty, maybe let's say, that we're all going to sing together and have this fun and bring that purpose in maybe just a little bit easier to listen. So every time you hear the word bingo, or maybe affirmative prayer, you maybe will get like a little giggle. We call it the God giggle, correct? Little joy in our hearts, so we sing so much about it. So at this time, we're going to have Jen and Kevin get ready because we're going to sing about, they're going to do it, but I'm not going to tell you. They're going to sing because I believe in making things easier for you. And I hope this adds a little spark to your life today and that it brings truth in the words bingo. Ready? Okay.
We are ready.
Yes. Okay, great.
Today I learned to pray in church, and this is how we pray. B-I-N-G-O, 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 and this is how we pray. Everybody, you got it? All right, we'll try it together. Ready?
Today I learned to play in church, and this is how we pray. Oh, B-I-N-G-O, 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 and this is how we pray. Oh.
Very nice.
And there's bingo.
Isn't he cute? With his little paws on the bed, praying for all of us and with us. Thank you so much. Was that fun for you? Pardon me? Thanks, Jen and Kevin. Wow. Thank you. So, not a new connection, just another fun connection. Because life is for fun. Prayer is for fun. I know we are down and we pray because we're in pain many times. But if we can pray for a little light for our wonderful little bingo guy, why not? So what is your prayer practice? What is your prayer practice? I know you're here today. You do meditation, maybe you meditate when you walk. There's a lot of ways. It just doesn't have to be in our services. You know that. How are you using prayer to be positive and active in your life? There's a journey in life that I feel that always brings us back to our spirit. And a couple things that I feel that we need to ponder on at different times, besides bingo, are different spiritual tools. And one of the tools is one of the affirmations, one of the connections for prayer, and it's a little statement of truth, and I'm just going to read it to you, is loving spirit with me. There is peace, and you today can put any words that you want. There is peace. There is abundance. There is light. There is wholeness. Whatever the word for you today is, fill that in. In my heart today. Thank you for this peace, and so it is. Well, let's say that together, and you put your word, you put your light in that word for what you feel you need and want, and you know that it's complete in your whole body and being right now. Okay, together? Loving spirit within me. There is... Thank you. Thank you. There is peace in all your affirmations, and so it is. Great. I gave you some of my information about how I use faith in my life. I do use it with my clients. I listen, I feel, is one of the biggest things to my clients, not only about their hair, but about their lives as whole and complete. You know, years ago, there was smoking in salons. I didn't have smoking in my area. I had a sign, no smoking, please. So that worked, even though they were smoking over there, but that worked. Today, I don't have a sign, but people know when they're in the chair of beauty and wholeness and light and love, that they are surrounded by greatness. They are in this private meditation, let's say. And the sign I would have today is no complaints and no politics. Thank you. And they know that, so that is not in our discussion. You know, if you want to talk about a complaint, feel free. You have a couple of seconds. And let's turn it into the good. How can you turn this into the good today for your life? Politics, we do not even use those words. How do you spell it? Bingo. Oh, that's a good one. So, as you know, we are human beings, what? Having a spiritual experience. We live in our God selves. We live in our God selves. I remember one of the times in my 30s, I came to Reverend Helise at Unity of Oak Park. I was having a little challenge in my life, and it was kind of new to look at. I wasn't a complainer, I would say, ever, but kind of new to say, oh, I have a little problem, just don't admit it. And I came to her, and we were talking about the challenge. It wasn't like, I would say, that big, but it was something I wanted to talk to the minister about. And she said to me, well, tell me a little bit about your prayer life. And I said, oh, well, I come here on Sunday. I travel a lot, so I don't really have time to go to church. It wasn't online back then. I would drive to my meetings Sunday morning, which were usually, hair workshop or image workshop or something like that. And I'd listen to, whoever was on the radio, Robert Schuller and stuff like that, or a cassette of, Charles Fillmore or something like that. And so that's what I do. And she says, oh, how about your meditation? You don't meditate when you drive, do you? I went, no, I don't do that. So in her asking me that, I kind of went a little deeper in my thought process of like, what is my main source of meditation? Because I felt I always was walking and feeling that. But that was different than connecting with God and knowing that God was right here in me at all times. So I said to her, well, truthfully, when I put my makeup in the morning, I always do my meditation while I'm doing my makeup. Okay? Yeah, it was centering. It was my only time alone, once you get up here, once you're traveling, once you're doing that. And I thought, ooh, I need to update that. And she said to me, you might want to look at your prayer life and maybe add some special time for that. I added it to everything. Any walks, anything, my exercise, I was meditating. Now I meditate, my friends and family kind of tease me. Oh, she meditates like 5 times a day. They don't say it negatively, but yes, I do. I probably do. And I do sit down and meditate. It's not just always on the run. But in my day, I can inhale. And let's do that today, because I know we're thinking about our journey, how we got here, and our journey last night before we went to sleep, when we woke up. So let's take a deep breath and just be centered through here. This isn't our meditation yet, but be centered in here. Okay. And let go of all that. Scoot that out the door. Take it for a walk with bingo. Let bingo take any of your challenge out your door. Because when I'm working, and if you haven't added this to your prayer ministry already, you can, and you probably do already, is just take a breath like we just did. Take a breath. Connect with Spirit deep inside us. Exhale like you're blowing through a straw, just gently, so you're feeling light and spirit from your top of your head to your tippy toe. And I do that when I'm working with my clients. I've worked on a time schedule for over 50 years, and many of you might have too. I mean, I try not to feel hurried and rushed, even though you are sometimes. Okay, now 10 o'clock, Judy's coming in, and 5 o'clock this. You are. But now, in my life, probably at least for 30 years, I just find that warmth of light in my inner being, swirling around and being with me and centering me, probably even before I sense that some challenge is going to happen, even though I look at my watch and I go, oh, I'm 5 minutes late. So I encourage you to add that to your prayer ministry if you haven't already. Sorry, one second. So, in working with connecting with God and enhancing life's flow, my experience and my feeling again with that is life's flow is our breath. Life's flow is our breath. Sometimes we think it's our agenda. How is our day going to flow? Or is it not going to flow? So I want you to know that that flow is that inner higher peace inside you. These are tools for transformation. You have them many already. You add them more every day, every time, no matter if you've been with Unity your first time today. If you've been with how many months, how many years. You keep adding them. And I know you use techniques and you visualize that. So with those thoughts in mind, I would just like to recap. And in working with the affirmation, prayer leads with you and in you all the time. Affirmative prayer enhances our life flow. Again, it's life flow because why? Because it's in us and around us and surrounding us. It's like a safety guard, like when you see the chaplains when you arrive here. This is our safety space, right? We have these wonderful techs helping us. So thank you to all those that helped me before I got here with PowerPoint. They're waving. And everyone that was so wonderful here, and our musicians, and each one of you for lifting up your hearts and opening up your mind to be here today with me. So, affirmative prayer, if it's bingo or our right words of affirmative prayer with Unity, it fosters a deeper spiritual connection. And an affirmation and a thought process with that is finding that human nature or that human truth, let's say, with us, is as it says up there. And we can read those together. Would you? Awareness of God is the only presence and power in my life. And the next one, I dwell in the heart of God now and always as God is in me. And the next is we encourage this focus to be in our lives and manifesting in our lives, in picturing what we even can imagine. Have you ever had that experience in your day, in your life, where something happens and you go, oh my goodness, this has happened. And then you think about it. I have had this thought, this truth in my prayers, in my life. I had a conversation with Jen, and today it outpictured across the room or down the street. You got that job. You got that raise. You met a man. You're healthy and wealthy and you're traveling around the world. However it outpictures, all of a sudden it's there because you know anything that you can believe and conceive, you can achieve. One of my old Wayne Dyer quotes. Love him, right? Okay, so the next, I'm sorry, that's pretty wordy. I didn't realize it was pretty wordy when I wrote that. It doesn't look as wordy in my notes, but that's okay, I don't mind. You don't mind, do you? Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is divine qualities. Divine qualities as infinite ways God expressing through us and our lives. And that can be anywhere in abundant good, beauty, or energy. And the next one is, we affirm truth about God in our lives as our heart's desire. Are we open to have more heart's desire just booming in our heart and surrounding around us? Today when we finish, how about every time you look at someone or you give them a unity hug, you say, you're my heart's desire. Mm-hmm. And then at the end, always giving thanks. Always giving thanks and let go. And as Bingo says, over and out. Now let's share those last two affirmations. Thank you, Spirit, for your unlimited love and goodness. I let go and allow God's power to flow. And then Bingo is with us. So, in working with that, I would say that we should probably go to, let me check my little notes here. I have one more thing. I have something for you after this slide before we go into meditation. It's a little invitation. Thank you. Great. Okay. Things we forget in our life about prayer or anything, maybe. And maybe we don't forget. Maybe we've learned it and we've used it at one time, and we haven't used it for a while. Well, today is an invitation for you to join me in something maybe you've done before, but you want to maybe bring it back into your life. And this invitation is here for you. And the invitation is, take on a 5-day challenge. I'm just asking you to take a 5-day challenge. The real wonderful thing, and I heard this and I believed it for many years, and now it's proven that it isn't, but if you do something for 21 days in a row, it becomes a new habit. Now, it was all proven many years ago that would happen. Recently, I read that it isn't the truth, but let's believe it is true. Because we believe, right? So today I invite you to create this new habit, a prayer habit. And yes, I see pictures snapping, and that's wonderful. Because 5 days, can anyone do a 5-day habit? Great, and you'll join me with it. Great. So if you've never did a prayer practice of this habit of a challenge for a prayer habit, let's say, you're going to be beginning it. And if you are in a prayer ministry, or you are in your prayer of practice, more than just putting your makeup on, let's take 5 minutes. However you take it, 5 minutes if you're walking or 5 minutes sitting and be centered. And what you're going to do in that 5 minutes is be centered, and we will do more of that in our meditation. Be centered and connect. Everyone has a journal or a little piece of paper, right? So take 5 pieces of paper, or a journal can be small or large, however you want to do it. I like to put the date, because it's always good to look back at it later and say, oh boy, in 1975 I did this. 2003 I did this. 2025, I'm going to start this. Judy shared that with me. And then I like to not only put the date, but I like to put the day of the week. There's something about connection of writing the day of the week. I'm going to start it maybe tonight. So Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Next Thursday, if you do the 5 days. I invite you to keep going. You don't have to stop after 5 days, but see how it adds something to your life. And then the number of the practice day. So if you start tonight, it's 1. If you start tomorrow. It's a minor little thing, and it's kind of sounds maybe picky-uni, but it's a connection. Numbers are a connection. Anyone study numerology and everything in here? I'm sure you have. Yes, that's great. Okay, and then what you're going to do is you're going to write down at least 1, if not 2, intentions. So what would be your intentions? Again, not your to-do list for the day. I intend to go in. I tend to be in. I intend to be at work today with peace in my heart. I intend to walk down the street today, and everyone I see, I smile. And it can be bigger or smaller, okay? And then writing in affirmations for that. Today at work, everyone smiled at me. I see that and feel that, whole and complete in my body and on my face. They're smiling at me. I thought my effort was going to be, I needed to smile at them. I smile every minute of the day. And when someone smiles back at you, I'm sure you've had the experience walking down the street or coming in somewhere and no one smiles. Has anyone had that happen? Okay, you have. And you're smiling. Now, I know if we're the overly smiley people here, sometimes we don't want to overly smile, like make them feel bad or something like that. We're going to say, could you smile today? We won't be doing that. So another affirmation. So what would be another intention? My intention today is to hold to the higher power that my new job is paying me X amount of money, and it's just about 5 blocks down the street. I don't have to travel anymore to work. I can walk. Your intention. And your affirmation is, what? I see myself in this beautiful place. I'm surrounded by wonderful people, smiling all day long. And guess what? They talk and share about meditation and prayer. Does that happen in everyone's work? Does that happen in anyone's life? It doesn't. But again, there's not that sign for no smoking anymore because people don't smoke. And there isn't that sign, but it's invisible. No complaints and no politics. Let's open up our invisible sign and say it's okay to come and express our God in ourselves. And we always see God in others. And when we look and walk from this moment forward, we have that light surrounding us. And I hope you take the 5 days challenge on. How many people are going to start it tonight? A few. Tomorrow morning, because maybe you're a morning person. Great. Well, I'll be there in spirit with you too. And I'll think of that, and I'll think of all of you today being here. Thank you. So now we will go into our meditation. Am I at the right time of my service? Okay, great. I just go over there. Yeah. Okay, great. Just making sure. Great. Okay. Okay. Do they play the music? Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay. Again, as we have during the lesson on our message today, join me in taking a deep breath gently from your lower level, lifting your spirit up through your heart and out through the top of your head, feeling that light surrounding you totally and breathing you. And as you exhale gently through your mouth, like you're blowing through a straw, feel yourself in the sanctuary and know that it's a new place for you today. It carries newness. It carries openness. This new special place in the sanctuary during this meditation is a doorway to higher thoughts. Let's join me in another inhale and an exhale. This doorway takes you down a yellow brick road. It's the yellow brick road of your greatness. You feel truth within you, and you speak the words of truth. That you feel it and hear it in your soul, your heart, your mind, your entire body. As you're walking down the yellow brick road, you notice nature. The nature are those beautiful flowers of this time of the year, where it's the end of summer and the beginning of autumn. You picture the colors along the path of this yellow brick road. The colors support you with the energy of your greatness. As you walk further down the road, you see animals. You see the gentleness of butterflies and bumblebees still gathering their nurture to nature and to nurture their next flowers for the next season. As you walk gently down this yellow brick road, you feel your footsteps gently walking on the cobblestones, carefully but gingerly, because you feel enlightened. You feel enlightened by this discovery and then walking through this doorway of higher consciousness, higher thoughts. The yellow brick road is a color of clarity, brightness, sunshine. You go further down the yellow brick road, and there's a labyrinth. There's a labyrinth that you walk into. You walk into, and each step you take, you hear and feel the divine uplifting you and surrounding you. You walk further into the labyrinth and you feel yourself connecting with the divine, your God self. You go down another path at the labyrinth, and your truth, your God-saken truth is alive, and the nature opens that right word, your right intention that's perfect and healthy and whole for your life. May it be your relationships. May it be your career. May it be health and wellness. May it be your wholeness of time, freedom, and not money. You are traveling. You're traveling in this labyrinth, and you're in the center of the labyrinth, and you just put your arms out, outstretched, and you do a little turnaround in the center of the labyrinth. And those feelings continue in your heart. Everything is peaceful. There's no sound except for the music in this room. This music is in your heart and your ears. Everything is uplifting and positive in your life. You feel and you connect with those higher moments as you stand You gently put your hands down by your side, or maybe on your heart. And you know and you trust that all your intentions are totally supporting you. And truth is there. And one day it surprises you. And as you turn around, and your last path coming out of the labyrinth to the yellow brick road is there for you. And you start stepping on the cobblestones of the yellow brick road in light and bright and sunshine and wholeness in your heart. And the radiance of this yellow brick road is surrounding you inside and out. And as you take your step forward, you thank the flowers and the plants for being there. You thank Bingo for being there and all the other nature critters. And as you walk forward and you're closing the labyrinth experience, and you're at the end of the yellow brick road, at the end of the path, and you place your arms out, outstretched arms. And at this time, you take your arms and you just place them around you and give yourself a hug, and you say, let go, release, I'm complete. And as Bingo would say, over and out. Amen.